I thank the gentleman for yielding.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And I rise for two reasons. First of all, to express my agreement with Mr. Moran and with members of the committee, perhaps on both sides of the aisle, with respect to our continuing Guantanamo policy. Guantanamo Bay continues to weaken, in my view, America's standing at a time when we need every tool necessary to protect America's interests around the world, which include promoting democracy and the rule of law. Our courts, in my view, are more than capable of trying and convicting even the most hardened terrorists and have shown themselves fully able to do so. Civilian courts have convicted 533 individuals on terrorism charges compared to 8 convictions in military commissions. Yet on the floor of this House, we continue to deal with this issue as if somehow it is keeping Americans safer. At the same time, it undermines American values. That is not a good policy. Hundreds of terrorists are being held securely in maximum security prisons here in the U.S. I won't list them, but I'll include them in the record. Keeping these detainees at Guantanamo makes no financial sense. One of my Republican colleagues mentioned a cost of $500,000 per year per detainee. At a time when we want to be efficient and effective in our use of resources, that seems not to be either. I now want to speak to a broader issue that concerns me that we have not dealt with in this bill and we did not deal with in the authorization bill. We need, as a Congress, as a country, as a people, to have the courage to come to grips with rationally passing a defense appropriation bill consistent with the advice of our military leadership and consistent with our willingness to pay the price for what we buy. I've been in this body 33 years, and I've always supported funding our military at necessary levels to maintain our security and our freedom. And I will continue to do so. With the ranking member for almost all those years. He hadn't been here quite as many years, but almost all those years. I congratulate the chairman. I'm proud of the chairman of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee, my friend Mr. Frelinghuysen. I had the opportunity of serving with him for a number of years on the committee. He is a responsible, patriotic, good member of this House and will chair this subcommittee in a very responsible fashion. I congratulate him for that. And my dear friend, the ranking member, for whom I have great respect for his intellect and for his focus and hard work on behalf of making sure our country is strong. But ladies and gentlemen of this House, Mr. and Mrs. America, Mr. Speaker, should know that we cannot and will not be able to continue to maintain the security of this country if we continue to pass bills with the pretense that we can pay a lot of attention to acquisition and not nearly as much attention to man force and training and equipping. Unless we want to jettison the sequester. We have to stop pretending that national security or education or infrastructure or health care can somehow be magically created and maintained without having a fiscally sustainable overall policy, or that we can pretend on a basis both in this appropriation bill and in the authorization bill that we can simply fund that which the Department of Defense says we don't need, is no longer relevant, But yes, it has consequences for every one of us, including me, if we cut those programs. So I would urge us, as we pass this bill, and I'll vote for this bill, but as we do so in a context of committing ourselves to having the courage and the wisdom in the years to come to propose and to pass rational security bills. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired.